a UFO over Manipur's Imphal airport? At 2:30, the Imphal Air Traffic Control got a call. The Central Industrial Security Force control room had seen a strange object. This white-colored object. It was visible for less than 2 hours. The Bir Tekandrajit International Airport was shut for hours. The IAF sent 2 of its Rafale jets, but by then it was gone.
Chris Lado, welcome to Lado Files.
Thanks to a subscriber tipping me off to this amazing story. They launched 2 fighters, and this white object is over the airport for an hour and a half. Hour and a half. Has tons of witnesses. Sounds like hundreds of witnesses see this thing. There's multiple videos. And they launched the Rafale fighter, one of my favorite fighters. So welcome to the channel. Thanks for being here.
And here's what we know so far. At around 2:30 p.m. local time, the Imphal Air Traffic Control got a call from the Central Industrial Security Force, CISF. The control room said that an unidentified flying object has been spotted. It was just above the air traffic control tower. It could be seen from the tower's terrace. People on the ground, including the airline and CISF personnel, also saw it.
You heard that? People up in the tower, and they said people on the ground as well. I haven't seen any reports of radar, so it looks like this is all visual-based observation.
The object was white in color. Some saying it appeared like a drone. It flew over the terminal building and moved above the air traffic control tower. It remained there for some time, and then it moved south of the runway and remained there till 4:05 p.m. local time. That was the last time the object was seen. After 4:05 p.m., it disappeared.
Okay, so drones can't do that and just disappear. So an hour and a half as well. So a drone can't normally loiter for an hour and a half, unless I guess it could be a balloon drone. But in that case, how does it disappear at the end? Disappeared. All those people see it.
It was a small object, but it caused a lot of disarray. As soon as it was sighted, all airport operations were kept on hold till further notice. A notice to the airmen of airspace closure was also flashed.
Yeah, so they issued a NOTAM basically saying that the field is closed, it sounds like. A notice to airmen is a NOTAM. And so they issued a NOTAM just closing it. And anytime you close runways, you have to issue a NOTAM.
An Indigo A320 flying from Kolkata to Imphal was told to keep a holding pattern. The flight remained in a holding pattern for about 25 minutes. Ultimately, it was diverted to Guwahati in Assam.
Yeah, so airplanes, we're going to hold until divert fuel. So every single time we take off and fly, you have to have a divert fuel number for sure. And they're going to hold till that divert fuel number, and then they're going to go to their divert airfield. It's all based on fuel and weather and distance and all that. But they held for 25 minutes and then went.
Another Indigo A320 flying from Delhi to Imphal was diverted to Kolkata. 3 flights, 2 Air India and an Indigo aircraft also remained parked as the airspace was shut.
Okay, so that sounded like 3 aircraft diverted and 3 stayed on the ground. So it doesn't sound like too large of an airport.
And soon the Indian Air Force scrambled its Rafale fighter aircraft to search for the mysterious object. At around 3:55 p.m., the Eastern Air Commando began scanning the Imphal airspace for threats.
So I stopped it here. The Rafale is just my favorite 4th generation jet, besides the F-16, of course. I guess foreign fighter. It's so cool. It was made in France, and they did it on their own, right? They didn't really share any technology. And so it's pretty cool. It's all different. The technology is different. Like over the targeting pod screen, there's a big magnifying glass. So this huge magnified image. It's just cool, different technology.
The Eastern Air Commando began scanning the Imphal airspace for threats. This went on for an hour and a half. Subsequently, the command in Shillong allowed Imphal Airport to resume normal operations. And soon, the Imphal Air Traffic Control resumed charge of the airspace.
The news reports I saw said the Rafales didn't see anything. They have an amazing radar. Okay, they have an ESA radar, is electronically scanned array radar. That's the same radar as that Ryan Graves and his squadron were seeing off the East Coast in 2014, 2015. So it has all that equipment. It has the fancy ESA radar. So the Rafale, amazing fighter, if they can't find it, then that means I probably couldn't find it with an F-16, So where did it go?
Aircraft operations finally restarted at around 6 p.m. After over 24 hours, it's still not clear what that object really was. And when we speak of a UFO, it's usually assumed that it relates to something from space. But there is more to this term, by the way. Unidentified flying objects need not point to outer space origins. They could range from being birds, balloons, drone-like objects, or foreign adversary systems.
Okay, you don't need to say that every time, like we know. I will say at the European Space Conference, I talked with a representative from the Indian Space Agency, but I talked to him off the record because no one wanted to talk on the record about UFOs. And I asked him in India, is anyone, any scientists in the scientific community or space agencies, anyone even talking about UAPs? How is it in the culture? And it sounded like, no one was talking about it. It's not in the culture. It's kind of like it was in the US where it's stigmatized. So it seemed like it's heavily stigmatized. And I can just see that a little bit here when, again, this is on YouTube. They still have to say that, yeah, you know, it could easily be something else. Could have been a balloon. Yeah, we know it could have been a balloon. Thanks.
The UFO spotted in Imphal has raised many questions, of course. First and foremost, what was this object? And more importantly, who sent it? What was the intent? Was it sent as a threat? Was China somehow involved?
Watch this.
This is where Imphal is. As you can see, it's not so far away from China.
I think it's pretty far from China. I mean, you know, that seems like several hundred miles. So it is pretty far from China. It's interesting here, the what she says next at the end here.
And Beijing, of course, has a history of meddling with the affairs of northeastern states of India.
Ooh.
Was it another Chinese attempt at espionage?
Another.
China has sent spy balloons far off in the west to the US. How difficult is it to send one to its next door paths?
So quite interesting there. And you remember David Grush mentioned this, that there's even some dangers of the UAP topic not being out in the open, because you can have some real issues if the government of India actually thinks it's China. That could raise tensions in the area. And so that's what Grush is talking about, is keeping the secret is meaning that the foreign powers can go around and do whatever they want. We basically have no ground to stand on to tell them they can't do this stuff. It's this escalation behind the scenes where you have an arms race. That's why I think open disclosure, getting the information out there really is the best for the humans on the planet, right? I'm out for the humans. I hope you guys are too. I want to get this quick story out to you guys. I just got back from Starship from Houston. Check out that video if you want to see amazing launch. It was an amazing experience. Don't forget about the contest. UAP Society contest ends next week. So put hashtag UAP DeSci in the title of your video idea. Best way to find UAP evidence. You can win $1,000, first place $500, second place. And then finally, please hit the like button. It is free. Subscribe to get future notifications, and then you get exclusive content. Patreon.com/Chris Lato, or become a YouTube member here. Have a great day. Peace.